Rivers of living water. This morning I would like to share with you one of my favourite poems, which is based on the story in John chapter 8 verses 1 to 11. In this story, the Pharisees brought a woman caught in adultery and stood her before Jesus. Jesus was sitting down with a crowd around him, ready to teach. This unfortunate woman may well have been in a state of undress. We do not know the circumstances or how exactly she had been caught in the act, but we know that her fear and shame must have been immense. The Mosaic law does in fact punish adultery by stoning, but both parties, both the man and the woman, and the stoning would take place outside of the city gates, not in the temple courts. No one knows where the man was. Maybe he had run away. Maybe the entire thing had been a set-up from the start. We know from the passage that the Pharisees wanted to trap Jesus. Jesus looked down and wrote on the ground. There are two explanations that I've heard for why this might have been. One that I love is that he was such a gentleman that he didn't want to add to her shame by looking at her. Or he may have been writing down the scriptures. Both Leviticus 20 verse 10 and Deuteronomy 22 verse 23 and 24 give the punishment for adultery, but in both cases both parties are to be punished. In Mosaic law, the testimony of two witnesses is true. The Pharisees in this passage are so eager to trap Jesus with his own words that they make obvious glaring mistakes. The law was meant to be lovingly guide and not be used as a weapon. The heart of the law always has been and always will be love. Jesus famously said, "Let any one of you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone." One by one they all left, the eldest first, until she stood alone with Jesus. Jesus said to her, "Does anyone condemn you?" No one did condemn her, and he didn't condemn her either. He just said, "Go and leave your life of sin." We do not know anything about her life, her pains, her disappointments, but we do know that in one encounter with Jesus, her life was changed forever. What did Jesus see in those eyes? What did Jesus see in those eyes? The woman caught in shame was terrified. Did he see her years of emptiness and pain, the people who had failed her again and again? Could he feel in his heart the depths of her shame? Did he know she wasn't the only one to blame? She longed for a prince to sweep her away, yet her heart's desire had led her astray. Did he see her thoughts as if reading a book, perceive all those ways she was searching for love? Did he see her loneliness, pain and confusion, how the love she had longed for was just an illusion? What did Jesus see when he looked in those eyes? Did he see betrayal, broken promises and lies? How she had been wooed, used and abandoned, deceived and discarded, her pain only deepened. Maybe that's why he looked down in the sand when those who accused her left her to stand, naked and weeping and longing for death. Instead of the stones, he gave new life instead. He wrote in the dust like priests of old, knowing both sides of the story must be told. But where was the man who was caught in the act? Jesus knew with their lies they were setting a trap. Jesus showed his deep abiding love for the law. God's heart for his people filled him with awe. Heavenly guidance that was miraculously given, lovingly written by a finger from heaven. Yet the hearts of men were dead and cold, creating more laws to keep men controlled. Forgetting the heart of the law is his love, fountain of blessings from our Father above. What did she see when she looked in his eyes? Did she know in that moment he was sent from on high? In the warmth of his gaze, did the pain melt away? Did she tell her story every single day? He came into the world to save us from sin. The full beauty of redeeming love is in him. The power of forgiveness, his most precious lesson. I can't wait to see him who lights up the heavens. I have my own broken story and a huge heart for women's ministry. I know that Jesus knows every inch of my heart and every inch of everybody else's. In him is the fullness and beauty of redeeming love. The way Jesus treated women in the Gospels is breathtakingly countercultural. Even today, they ring true, and they're my favourite stories of all. Please would you join me today in praying for a woman you know who needs the redeeming love of Jesus. Amen.